This is Willie Griswold with Bob and Time's coverage of Radio Row, joined by Costaki, Economopoulos, and we are thrilled to be joined by Coach Tony Dungy. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, guys. Good to be with you.
Oh, it's great to see you. We've been asking this question all over. I'd love to hear your answer to this. If you were king for a day, if you got to change one NFL rule, what would you change?
If I were king for a day, I would go back to maybe 14 games.
Oh.
Because I think the longer we take the season out, obviously the more money we're going to make, but the more chance you get of not having your great players in this game. One of the things I really enjoyed, and I think people enjoy about the NFL, is that every game matters.
Right.
Every game counts. And so I would hate to see us take it out to 20 games, 22 games. That's where it's heading. But I think having a limited number of games, having the best teams win, and having the best teams in the Super Bowl is what we all want.
Mm-hmm. Coach Dungy, a lot of people are sort of complaining that the Pro Bowl has gotten soft. They played dodgeball last week. If you could have any child, playground game put into the Pro Bowl, what game could you dominate?
I kind of feel like these Pro Bowlers, everybody who plays football wishes or thinks they could play basketball. So maybe like a 3-on-3 contest or a dunk contest
yes.
With football players. That would be something special that a lot of guys would want to play in.
I got a question. As a coach, did you have a moment, a game, a play, a beat somewhere along the way early on, and you thought, okay, I can hang here, I belong here? Did you have one of those kind of moments?
The first moment for me, I came to the National Football League. I was a quarterback my whole life, never done anything else but that, and I get switched to defensive back, and I was having a hard time, and I didn't know if I could play. Well, we played a preseason game against the Eagles. I was playing for the Steelers, and we had a couple of guys hurt, so I started the game, and I ended up making 8 or 9 tackles and playing really well, and for the first time, I thought, I can do this, and I'm going to be okay. And that was the game that I think that really caused me to make the team. I ended up making it, and then the next year we won the Super Bowl, and I led the team in interceptions.
Wow, that's great.
You're used to throwing the ball. Let me see you catch the ball. How about that?
Yeah.
Coach, can you tell us a little about the Super Bowl breakfast?
Super Bowl breakfast is a fantastic event. It's always the Saturday before the Super Bowl. They've done it for 35 years. And it really is, it's a gospel outreach. It's sharing love, but telling people there are more important things than the game itself. They always honor one player. He's selected by his peers, not for what he's done on the field, but who's had the most impact in their community off the field. This year's winner is Kirk Cousins. There's been some awesome winners in the past. I've had the honor, I guess you could say, to coach 5 of the past winners, guys like Warwick Dunn, who has provided 200 homes for single moms in the Tampa and Atlanta communities, and Derek Brooks, who has a charity that really benefits kids in Tampa. Those are the kind of things that get celebrated, and it's an awesome event Saturday morning.
Coach, you're a distinguished coach, obviously. Can you tell us a little bit about the books that you've written?
I've actually written 5 or 6 books and a couple with my wife, really talking about life and leadership and what it's all about. My favorite one I think that I've written is a book called Uncommon, which really came from my college coach saying, you know what, successful people, championship football, you can't be satisfied with being average. So being different is not bad. Being uncommon is actually a good thing. And how do you be uncommon? You step out in ways that other people probably could do, but sometimes we're afraid to. Sometimes we don't think it's that important. And that's been my message to young boys, young men especially. You don't have to follow the crowd. Mm-hmm. You can step out on your own and do things that other people aren't doing.
Oh, I love that. Well, we got some uncommon players in this game.
Yes, we do.
Give us a breakdown. What do you see? What's going to happen?
Well, everyone's going to be focused on the 2 quarterbacks, and they are special young men. First time we've had 2 African-American quarterbacks going against each other. Everybody's making a big deal of that, but they're the leaders. They're dynamic people. But I really think the game is going to be won and lost at the line of scrimmage. Philadelphia has a tremendous running attack.
Sure.
Okay, and if they can power that ball and knock Kansas City's defensive line off the ball and really dominate up front running, it's going to be tough for the Chiefs. The other side of the coin is the Chiefs throw it really well. They've got some dynamic weapons, but can they block Philadelphia's pass rushers and give Patrick Mahomes time? And Mahomes is going to be a little bit limited. He's got a little bit of an ankle sprain. We don't know if he's going to be 80%, 90%, 95%. But how is that line of scrimmage going to look? And I think that's going to determine who wins the game. There's some great players up there on both sides of the ball, and that's what I'm going to be focused on.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to ask you the one question that I can guarantee no one else here is going to ask you today. I happened to play middle school football with your son. We talked about this a bit before, and I remember one time Dallas Clark, Peyton, and I think it was Marvin or Reggie came to the game, and it blew my mind. I was just there sitting on the bench, getting a suntan through my jersey. Looked like chicken wire. Can you just tell us a little bit about...
Yeah, it's funny. Park Tudor Middle School and high school, but middle school is where you guys played in Indianapolis, Indiana, and your middle school games were always on Thursdays.
Yes, sir.
Well, Friday was our short day, so I could see the high school games if they were on Friday night, but Thursdays we were always there planning practice for the next day. So I never got to come to the middle school games. So Peyton Manning would always say, you know what, I'm going to go, I'm going to take videos for you, I'm going to tell you what's happening, what your son's doing. And he would get guys to go with him. So the first time he went, it was he and Reggie Wayne and, gosh, I can't think. Oh, Edgerrin James.
Yes.
It was he, Reggie, and Edgerrin the first time they went, and he's sending me little videos on his phone and stuff. And your coach called me the next day and said, "Hey, my guys couldn't even play the game. Everybody was looking at the sideline. The other team was looking at the sideline. All the parents." So it was crazy, but that's how it would be. And those guys thought they were doing me a favor, by helping me keep track of Eric, but it was always fun.
It was, just the coolest thing in the world as a kid. And thank you so much for doing that. Thank you for being such a massive part of my childhood to break the interview decorum.
Well, the interesting thing about that, when I went there, I told our guys, it came kind of from the uncommon theme in the book. Hey, we want to win a Super Bowl. We want to bring a Super Bowl back to Indianapolis, but that can't be all we do. We've got to make Indianapolis a better place to live. We've got to find a purpose in this area, and guys would do that. They would go out. They adopted middle schools and high schools, did different things, and just being there at middle school football games, that was something they felt like they wanted to do to help make it a better place to live. And I'm proud of our guys for that.
Yeah, that's great.
We just spoke with Trey Norwood, and he talked about Coach Tomlin and what he's able to do in Pittsburgh. Would you mind speaking about Coach Tomlin for a second?
Coach Tomlin, I'm proud to say I got him his first job in the National Football League. He was 29 years old, and we kind of talked that same thing. As a matter of fact, we laugh about it now because he said, I thought I was coming into the NFL, to this world of mega football and everything, and I came into your office to interview, and I had to step over your 9-year-old who was watching videos on TV on the floor, and I thought, this is the National Football League? This is what it's all about? But then being with me for a year and seeing that kind of emphasis on family and everything, Mike took that to Pittsburgh when he ended up getting the head job and coaching that same way. And I'm proud of him for that. Yes, they won Super Bowls. He's won a lot of games, never had a losing season, but he's also instilled in those players, hey, we do more than just win games here. This is the Steeler way. I learned it from Coach Knoll. Mike got a little bit of it from me, and he is passing that on to other people.
Well, thank you so much. We're joined by Coach Tony Dungy right here at Radio Row, and this is the Bob and Tom coverage of the Radio Row. I said it twice. How fun. Thank you, Coach.
All righty. Thanks, guys.
Thanks
Great
so much,
to be
Coach.
with you.
Yes, sir.